As finals week approaches at Woodside High School, students are faced with the pressure of sustaining their grades for the first semester. Many students often complain about study week, the week designed as preparation for finals. However, most students end up having to learn new material over the course of this week. It's often debated whether or not teachers are piling on too much work during study week, or most commonly known as dead week. Ms. Camara, the AP Literature teacher and one of the original instigators of study week, discusses what the true meaning of this time is.
It was because this is the college, the university model, and the idea is you're supposed to be, everything you should be doing right now should be focused on your final. So it shouldn't be that you're learning something that's going to be relevant to next semester.
Study week was designed to help students to focus on their final exams and the material they've already learned. Although this may be true, teachers still assign homework and other assignments during the course of this week. Many students believe that the rule states the opposite. Ms. Camara helps clears up this misconception.
I think sometimes the misperception on students' part is you can't have any homework. Well, that's not what it is. It's because, even in my class, what we're doing this week is all that we need to do to be ready for the final.
Homework is in fact allowed to be assigned all throughout study week. The student misconception could have come from miscommunication through teachers or through other students around campus.
Well, maybe students don't know exactly what the rule is. One of the reasons why we did it was because kids were feeling this tremendous pressure to go to basketball prep, or they were getting called out at class to go speak to guidance. And we wanted to be sensitive to the fact that this is a high-stress time. You're prepping for finals. We want finals to be important and kind of intense. That's preparing you for college. And to be respectful of that.
Study week was designed to support students rather than create more stress. Camara also goes on to explain how, before study week, extracurriculars were a huge stress factor on students. Study week was designed to change that by taking those extracurriculars out of the situation.
A big part of it was all the extracurricular stuff. No, you can't have a field trip during dead week. That was and that was happening. That was one of the big motivations for doing it.
This week was created to make life easier for students, and in general, most teachers want the least amount of stress for the students, but also for themselves.
I like to kind of slip into winter break without a gazillion essays to grade or a lot of grading. So I'm trying to get things finished, and I want to get things back to students. So if you need to review something or you need to revise something in time for finals, you have it and you're able to do it.
One of the biggest reasons why Study Week was created was to prepare the students for life in college. Madison Wolf, a student at Oregon State, explains what her experience was like.
I guess so. You really don't have anything due at all, and pretty much you can't learn anything new. So it's just kind of review of everything you've learned.
Langley Topper, a student at a university in Chile, agreed that although she was studying abroad, her experience was quite similar.
Depending on the department you were at the university I was at, some students didn't have any class. And for two of my classes, one of my classes I had a presentation and one of my classes I had an essay, and so we didn't actually have sit downs. So study week was really important for me.
Madison also goes on to explain how her experience in college was different compared to her time at Woodside.
I think it's stricter in college.
Yeah. That's why I continue to call it dead week.
I think it's stricter in college because here there were still teachers that are we gotta learn this and this, and you're just oh geez, we have the final next week. But in college they're nope, you're pretty much done, so have a good life. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So where do you feel the classes
But out-of-class assignments for the benefit of students is allowed. Even though this week was partly designed to prepare students for life in college, Woodside Study Week is much looser in comparison to the average college student's experience. The topic of whether or not Woodside will adopt a stricter policy has yet to be discussed, but for now the school and the teachers will continue to keep the amount of work they're currently piling on. For the Woodside World, I'm Olivia Dumas.